Based at the Pleasant Valley Ski Resort, the Cutthroats name and logo is inspired by the Cutthroat Crag ski trail that was soon to be opened at Top of the World Resort. Led by David Thorpe with his girlfriend Rosalind Jeffries being second in command, they were one of Appalachia's 5 main raider gangs. The Cutthroats were responsible for the Christmas flood event, which destroyed Charleston on Christmas Day of 2082. The event was prompted by Thorpe, who assumed the death of Rosalind following a failed attempt to free her. Although the gang's fate is never directly stated by Rose, one of the few surviving members, there are several indicators that the gang might have been wiped out by the scorched plague. In particular, these indicators are the large and concentrated numbers of scorched in former Cutthroat territories, an unsent letter written by Thorpe as well as his fate, becoming a scorched himself. Since the scorched plague, Rose has taken over the leadership of the Cutthroats and is looking for new raider recruits to revive the gang. According to Nash, Meg Groberg tried to be part of the Cutthroats but did not make it in because she felt their ways were too violent, resulting in her forming her own gang. David Thorpe was an executive at the Arctos Pharma Company, using ruthless business tactics to ensure Arctos dominated the pharmaceutical market. Depressing wages and aggressive, unwavering commitment to negotiation terms were standard practice at Arctos when David was at the table. Although he was married with a wife and children at home, he also had a mistress, Rosalind Jeffries, and regularly frequented the Pleasant Valley Ski Resort with her, covering up these escapades as business trips to Washington, D.C. It was during one such escapade that the Great War happened, trapping him, Rosalind, and scores of other resort guests in the mountains. Although he was already planning to divorce his wife for Rosalind when the bombs fell, the loss of his wife and child was a savage blow for David, and it was only through Rosalind's constant support that he managed to pull through. Despite his dedication to Rosalind, he still held much love for his wife. His side as a ruthless executive allowed him to quietly build support among the surviving resort guests, now forming Appalachia's nascent raider gangs after the brutal winter of 2077. David rose to power against the original raider leader Harlan McClintock by offering an alternative, more violent path to future success. When David killed 2 responders who traveled to Top of the World to offer their help to the survivors there, Harlan and his wife Margie tried to put David on trial and exile him for his deeds. This ended poorly for the McClintocks, with the group splintering off to form the gang which would be known as the Diehards. The responders would ultimately blame David for encouraging the Pleasant Valley survivors' violent tendencies and turning them into fully fledged raiders. When David became leader, Rosalind made a trophy for him with a skull and "World's Best Boss" on it. On their anniversary, David stole chems for her, and they spent the night under the stars near Ripper Alley, with David remarking how he had never seen her happier. In 2082, David was prepared to propose to Rosalind, but she was captured during a raid on Charleston in pursuit of a Christmas gift for David. David incorrectly believed that the responders had killed Rosalind. Mad with grief over losing his family again, David ordered an attack on the Summersville Dam, using mini nukes stolen by the Blackwater Bandits from the Brotherhood of Steel to blow up the dam and flood Charleston. In doing so, he also inadvertently killed Rosalind, who was actually trapped in the jail cells of the Charleston Capitol building. This incident would come to be known as the Christmas Flood. Some cutthroats such as Carol Sweeney were so appalled that they splintered away from David. Though he put on the facade of a powerful warlord, David deeply mourned Rosalind. He created a Miss Nanny in her image, christened Rose, giving her some semblance of Rosalind's personality, but as Rose notes, only the fun and upbeat side. As he was unable to recover Rosalind's remains, David also erected a secret shrine to his old flame east of Ripper Alley, not wanting other raiders to view him as soft, and to give himself a sense of closure on the last personal connection he would ever have. David also began to drink himself into a stupor. David's raider gang endured and thrived despite the setbacks. A years-long guerrilla campaign waged by the Order of Mysteries took its toll on the raider clans, but David remained in control, attracting more and more recruits. The campaign came to an end when Olivia Rivers, bitter and resentful of her mother's leadership, decided to defect by using Brody Torrance as a way to make inroads with the raiders. As Brody was the sole survivor of Mac Fraser's veteran crew, David was initially skeptical of the proposal. However, without any other leads, he played along and allowed Torrance to work with Olivia to take down the Order. Despite the slow start, the investment paid off, with the Order of Mysteries eventually being wiped out in November 2086, with Olivia facing her own mother in a final confrontation that led to Shannon Rivers' death. Olivia soon joined her mother when Brody mortally wounded her, making it clear David had no further use for Olivia and did not want to take the chance that she would turn on him like she had done with her mother. In 2086, Harper's Ferry was destroyed by the Scorched, which began pushing through the mire and into the Savage Divide in the following years. By 2092, David recognized the threat, seeing panic spread and his empire beginning to crumble before his eyes, but he refused to leave his position or stop his activities. Privately, he had finally found peace at the loss of Rosalind and came to believe that she was there with him in spirit. In late 2096, he imprisoned Hank Madigan, hoping to extort the Responders and Free States in exchange for the Scorched detection system uplink, which Madigan was carrying. Ultimately, he succumbed to the Scorched Plague when it ravaged the Savage Divide and was killed around 2102 by a vault dweller of Vault 76.